So, it's St George's Day and the BNP Manifesto comes out today, and to be honest with you, it's the usual grab bag of the crazy and the incompetent. The financial figures in the manifesto, well, I'd say they look like they were worked out on the back of an envelope in the pub, but actually I'm not convinced that long was spent doing the finances in the BNP Manifesto. The economic plan is simply crazy. The numbers don't add up at all. It promises everything to everybody, and they seem to think they can save a lot of money just by halting the immigration invasion, as they call it. In fact, they're going to solve everything in terms of the immigration invasion: traffic congestion, housing problems, the NHS problems, everything. They will just stop the immigration invasion. It's kind of crazy. Other amazing stuff in there. They're going to set up a penal colony in the Falklands. So, you know, it's a great idea. Let's ship off all our rapists and dangerous criminals to the Falklands. Has anyone spoken to the Falkland Islanders about this? I guess they're not going to be that happy about having some enormous prison there housing all of the UK's most dangerous criminals. And what's that going to cost? It's just lunatic. But really, where the manifesto is dangerous is in the way that it treats some of the minorities in our society, and particularly this manifesto really has a good old bash at the Muslims. So there are a few general things, first of all, that the BNP Manifesto will promise that will affect all minorities. They'll repeal the Race Relations Act, they'll repeal the Human Rights Act. For those BNP voters who are watching this who don't understand English, repeal means they'll get rid of the Race Relations Act, and they'll get rid of the Human Rights Act, and they will get rid of the Equalities and Human Rights Commission, and they will get rid of all diversity schemes from all local councils, which maybe support local gay communities, local ethnic minority communities. They will all go. But then when we get to the Muslims, it gets worse. They will ban halal meat. They call it ritual slaughter of animals, but basically they mean they will ban halal meat. This is not a problem to the average white, indigenous, as they would call it, Englander, but there are very, very many in the Muslim community who want to eat halal meat. It's part of their religion that this is the way the meat should be slaughtered. It's been done for many millennia, and frankly, it is wrong to ban people from having meat prepared in the religious way that they think it should be prepared. They want to ban mosque building within the UK. They don't say they want to ban minarets or outrageous mosques, just all mosque building in the UK. Can you imagine any nation anywhere in the world that tried to simply ban the building of any church or any place where you could have a religious meeting as a member of the Christian faith? That simply wouldn't happen. Not even in countries like Saudi Arabia would they ban the building of Christian religious buildings. And probably the worst one of all the policies that I picked up on was they want to deport radical preachers immediately. Well, that's fine. You know, radical Islamic preachers are problematic. Deporting them is a strong step, but maybe supportable. Then they would immediately deport anybody who has listened to them, which could be huge numbers of people that have been in one of these meetings. You don't know that somebody's a radical preacher until you sit down and listen to them. You make your own mind up about what you've heard. You may think, well, they're radical. I'm not interested in their message. Well, I'm sorry, you're going to get deported by the BNP. And they will deport anyone who objects to this reasonable measure and who is a part of the Islamic community. This is a simply discriminatory measure against the Islamic community. It would hit quite a large number of people, and the fact that they can refer to it as a reasonable measure and then wish to deport anyone who objects to it shows that they're going to try and get into the idea of prosecuting thought crimes for ethnic minority and religious minority groups. This is a crazy and dangerous party. The one final thing that caught my attention from the BNP Manifesto 2010 was media issues. They want some more media control, and anyone in the media who peddles a falsehood should be prosecuted. Now, I agree, anyone in the media who lies in print can be prosecuted. We have laws of libel to deal with that. But they want something firmer than that, something stronger than that. And who decides what a falsehood is? Is a falsehood just something printed about the BNP that they don't like? Is a falsehood something that denigrates Nick Griffin's opinions on things? Who decides what the falsehoods are? And media control is of course the first step that any fascist organisation would try to take. People will tell you that the BNP aren't a racist party. Look at what they want to do to Muslims. They want to ban their religious way of preparing meat. They want to ban the building of their religious buildings. They want to deport a large number of people from that community. This is the same way that Hitler treated the Jews in the run-up to the Second World War. This is a crazy, dangerous party with a semi-lunatic manifesto. Yes, there are things in there that you'll probably like when you see them written down, but just think about this manifesto in the broadest terms, and this is a party that it would just be impossible to vote for.